everyone, welcome back to Carrots and Olives. My name is Brittany and today I'm going to share with you my A5 folio covers, and we'll talk about some of my favorites, some of my least favorites, and also some of the ones that I decided to let go. So I am selling it and I'm going to share those with you. First things first, we all know that I am in a Giglio Apunto. This is the gold color. I really like Gillio for their leathers. The leather is awesome, hands down. It's just, they're so luscious. They all, for the most part, will patina on you, especially some of the like browns. And with the Apuntos, you get 2 bookmarks that have leather circles on the edges. You do have the pen loop here and then the strap. And then on the inside, you have a lot of space to put cards, stickers, any extra ephemera. You have this little slip pocket. You get this inside pocket to put your book in, backside pocket. You do get a zipper pocket, which is quite small, so I don't really use it, but to hold my Gillio like authentication papers in here. And then you get the big back pocket, which is really nice. So this has been working out really well. I've been in this notebook ever since I got the Hobonichi cousin. It is like really perfect. My Hobonichi cousin now almost comes up to the edge of the notebook, almost flush, just because I do have the back pocket pretty stuffed. I think it's a great option. I really love Gillio for their leather, especially their Ipoca leather. Because you have a strap, you are limited in how thick your book can get. And because I didn't take the opportunity to really use the pages between March and July, I do have a lot of pages that are unused, and therefore I'm still able to keep it in this cover. Now, when this cover does get to become a little bit too small, then I will have to move out into something that can expand with my notebook. And that brings me to my next favorite, which are the Sojourner folio covers. So this one was a special edition. It is debossed or embossed, and all these little scrolls are raised, even in the back. It's so beautiful. Each one was unique, and she no longer has this leather. She might come out with something similar at a later date, but this is housing another Hobonichi, and the cool thing about her notebooks is that they are slim, they're very lightweight. So she doesn't offer much more than this. You have the notebook cover, you have a sleeve or a place to put in one side of the notebook and another place to put in the other side, and then she has slits to put in cards if you need to. I almost rarely use these slits. It is there in just about every notebook size that you get from her. And that's pretty much it. So now she does offer strings to be added to your notebook folios if you want them. Right now I prefer not to, but I like this because whenever my notebook does expand, I'm not restricted with a strap. The next one is also one from Rowena, a Sojourner. All of her Sojourners have her mark on the corner, typically in the front of the notebook. And this was another special edition. It was one of her browns, it was the Canadian brown, I think that's what she called it. And so she has options where you can add a front pocket, and she even has one where you can add like a wraparound pocket. So this is one of the pockets that has a very ununiform, I guess, edge. and so it's kind of frayed at one side, and her pockets always have the red stitching, if you could see that. This one is really nice because the leather is so unique. It's very different. It feels really like smooth and soft, even though you can see marks in the leather. So I currently just have the A5 Sumki notebook in here because I do plan to use this most likely probably in 2021, but it's ready for me and it's in this Sojourner, so I'm really excited for that. This would also be another option I would go to if my Hobonichi cousin got way too big. So another maker that turned out to be a favorite and I really truly loved is this one, and it is from HandstitchedLeather T. I got this a couple years ago, probably in 2018, and right now it has an Archer and Olive notebook in it, although my Archer and Olive notebook isn't really the best for this folio because it is quite short. This is the only Archer and Olive notebook I have, so I'm not sure if they have adjusted the A5 size, but it's quite small for this notebook. As you can see, the edges have kind of curled down and it's kind of compromised the spine a little bit down here. But this leather is gorgeous. It's like a deep burgundy. It's showing a little bit more on the brown side in the camera, but it's really like a burgundy. And her leathers are pretty thin, very similar to the Sojourner leathers. She does offer different pocket styles, and I got the secretarial on the right with like a card slot pocket on the left, and then another pocket which it can fit quite a few things, like sticker sheets from different sorts of Etsy sellers can fit in here. Even my sticker sheets can fit in here. And then you get your two inside pockets for your notebook. So this one was like one of my favorites. I used it for quite some time. And what's really unique about this leather is that it scratches up, but it doesn't show it as much when you're looking at it. It's only like in the light that you can actually see some of those scratches on there. I would use the front pocket to house my fountain pens and whatever pens I was using. So I really like that. The difference between like a pocket that's like this versus a pocket like this one from Sojourner is that I felt like my pens were more secure in this pocket because I can have like 3 or 4 and they would sit like really comfortably in here. Plus this pocket is slightly taller. I'm not really sure how Sojourner or Rowena could maybe adjust the height of the pocket if you wanted to. I think that would have to be a special request. But I did like how the height here was pretty tall and did make it more secure for my pens. So she does offer a bunch of different leather colors. This is the burgundy, and it's just such a really nice leather. It's really smooth, and she does distress the edges to make it slightly darker. Okay, so another favorite is, I would say, my absolutely favorite leather from Chic Sparrow, and this is the A5 Deluxe in the Earl Grey. It was the tea house, part of the tea house collection, and it's not there anymore. I don't follow Chic Sparrow as much as I used to. I'm not sure if she's supposed to be coming back out with this color, but I wish I would have gotten more. I wish I would have gotten more. This is my very first traveler's notebook in the A5 size because this is the only option I had, or that I preferred when it came to like the A5. She wasn't offering it in the folio style that I liked, so I got the A5. Really, when I use this A5, I put it in the back pocket here, and it actually holds my notebook very well. I rarely use the strings, and I love the pocket design that she has here because it does add a lot of sturdiness. Now, this leather is just my ideal color. It's like caramel with a hint of dark spots on it, and it does kind of remind me of the Sojourner special brown that I got a couple years back as well. But it patinas really quickly, which is really nice to see the color change. This spot right here in the middle wasn't there. It actually happened from it sitting on top of my computer, like my laptop at the time. And yeah, but I love this leather. It's super soft. There's no texture whatsoever. And I just love the way that it morphs and folds to my notebook in here, so you can see. And just the way it feels is really nice. So that's pretty much my top covers. And now to go into the ones that just don't really make the mark for me, but I'm still going to keep around for a little bit. I did try a Moterm. This is the A5 Moterm that looks like a Gillio, and so you get pretty much the same thing. You get this little pocket here. It's kind of hard to tell. This little pocket, you get pockets all the way along here. You have the two bookmarks with the tabs at the bottom made of leather. And then you have like the insert for the notebook. You have another like pocket here, and then you get this secretarial pocket. You also get the strap and the pen loop, which is a lot wider than a Gillio. And then you get the big back pocket, which is really great for this price point. But I don't know. I really am not a fan of this crocodile style in the front, the texture here. But I'm keeping it around for a little bit because I just like how shiny it is. Even though it's like super soft and squishy, it's also shiny, and I don't have any other leather like that in my collection. So I'm keeping it around for a little bit. But I did get this one from Amazon, and they do come out with it every so often. So just keep an eye out if you are looking for something similar to this. Now, another one that didn't really hit the mark is this one, and I only use this one now for storing my A5, and this is like the only A5 I pretty much put in here. I have a notebook that I use for journaling, and this is one of those Tomoe River notebooks I got from Goulet Pens. And I think I did a flip through of this a while back, maybe a couple years ago. So I just house it in here. This is a leather cover from Maker South. And I think the part I'm not the biggest fan of is how the stitching does not, how it just stops here and doesn't continue. For all my other notebooks, you may have noticed that all the stitching continues whether or not there's a pocket. And for some reason, I like that continuity. It just looks really weird without the stitching here. But this leather is very interesting. It has a lot of detail, like a lot of different things going on in here, yet the leather is smooth. I can't remember the name of this leather, but I know that they have a lot of different options when it comes to their leather, and I would think that majority of their leather is unique to the piece you get. So I do have a MD cotton notebook that I put in here, and I had meant to use it to document like my supplies, and that didn't go too well as I had wanted it to. It kind of just stopped there. But I really do like the MD cotton notebook. It's great for like watercolor and mixed media. And yeah, so I do need to come back to this. I just haven't. The Maker South leather is very simple. You just have the two spaces here to insert your notebook, and that's pretty much it. Okay, so this may be quite controversial, but a while back I talked about this guy when it first came out, and I ordered one because I was so excited. She was coming out with a different like model, but I only used it for about a couple months, maybe a month, and then since then it has been in this dust bag. So I don't intend to sell this right now. I do want to keep it around. It is housing one of my journals, and I do intend to come back to it to use it. This would be also a great option to use for my Hobonichi cousin when it gets too big, because I'll have the space. So this is my A5 journal that I never actually finished. I still have quite a few pages left to go, but I don't think I will be coming back to it. I do love how thick it got and how this can handle it. Someone asked me why I didn't put my notebook in the sides, and it was mainly because it felt awkward, because you have this reinforced spine, and it just didn't fit right, because that's not necessarily how she made this cover to be. So I didn't like the way it didn't sit like on here in the middle like it does when it's on the strings. So yeah, that's the reason, if anyone's wondering. It does scratch up quite easily, and you can see those marks here. It is very shiny, and this I think is an Italian leather she mentioned. Yeah, so it's a keeper for right now. I don't plan to sell this guy. Now, since I've gone through all my notebooks that are my favorites, my least favorites, but I'm still keeping around because that's just how I feel. I feel like I'm gonna go back to it eventually. I'm going to share with you the ones that didn't really work so well for me, and that I am selling. So if you are interested, please reach out to me or reach out to my Instagram, which would be the best way to contact me. They are these three. This first one is from Rowena. This was one of her newer designs a couple years ago, and it was called the Folio 2.0. I think it was mainly meant for like a sketching notebook to fit in here, or it is an A5 size, but she did come out with this unique way to hold your pen in here, or like your pencil. And then she has the leather strap here where you can just insert your notebook, and then it just folds over. So you could fold it over like that, or you can even fold it over like this and have the elastic here. I'm just not a fan of it. The style is really unique, but it just didn't work out for me. And this is in the caribou leather, so it's a dark deep brown, and then it has that pull up feature where the color will change, but over time it'll go back to normal. The next one is the Hobonichi cover. I think this is one of the ones that came out in 2018, and I still have like some of the papers in here that came with it. The only problem that happened with this one is that I got ink on it. It's so sad. And it's not going anywhere. So there's that. It could always be covered up with like a clip or something like that. But I don't care for non-leather covers, to be honest. Also, you know, you do get a lot of card slots or places to put ephemera, stickers and things, and you do get the secretarial pocket. And then you have the pen loops that are staggered, which allows for you to even keep your notebook closed if you wanted to. And then you have the slots for your notebook. You also have this extra slot right here. So it is pretty similar to like a Gillio. You just don't get a slip pocket on this side or the big back pocket. But you do get a pocket in the back of the notebook, and these do fit in the cover-on covers to protect it. This is like a linen material, and it has this really cool cap feature on the front. So this didn't really work out for me. It's still in great condition except for these two little blurps down there. Okay, so last but not least is the Ilia note. This is when I ordered the notebook cover with the notebook, which is Tomoe River A5 size notebook. And I used the notebook, but I didn't really care for the cover. It's very simple. The leather smells like leather. It's pretty thin, but it's quite sturdy, which is really interesting. And it doesn't have much of any type of like unique characters to it. It's just blue, and maybe in the light you could see there's a little bit of texture going on here, but other than that, it is what it is. You do have the ability to easily slide in and slide out your notebook, which is nice, especially if you have a really thick notebook or a notebook that has a cover that's really fragile and you don't want it to, like, the cover to tear or anything like that, then this would be a good option for you. But this is what I'm selling, these three. If you're interested at all, please contact me on Instagram preferably, or you can leave a comment on this video and we can find a way to contact each other. But these ones did not work out. These happen to be my favorites, and some of them I've had in my collection for quite some time now. And then these happen to not be such, quite my favorite, but I do want to keep them around because I still like to look at them, and eventually I will use them. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, especially if you're looking to, at what options are out there. I pretty much talked about Giglio, Sojourner, Hobonichi, Ilia, and HandstitchedLeather T, and Maker South. So there's quite a lot of options, and those sellers don't only just sell A5, they sell a whole bunch of other sizes. So yes, that is that. I'm going to wrap it up. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!